This movie begins with an old interview of Kevin Flynn discussing the future of games and their impact on humanity. Later, a news report announces that Kevin has been missing for 2 years. Meanwhile, the company is facing corporate turmoil, and Eve Kim takes charge after Sam Flynn resigns. At the same time, a man is seen programming a robotic figure, a machine capable of destroying anyone through patches and modifications he installs. This robot is soon appointed as the master control of Aries, a defense system designed to protect its creators. Meanwhile, in the snowy mountains, Eve visits her sister's place. There, she reminisces about Steve Flynn, whom she once loved, and notices that her sister has kept every newspaper clipping about him. Eve then discovers a message left by Tess before her passing. Elsewhere, Julian Dinger is giving a presentation about their new technological program to several military chiefs. During the demonstration, they showcase a highly advanced tank equipped with all modern weapons for warfare. Julian goes on to suggest an idea. What if soldiers themselves could be programmed for battle? He then introduces Aries, a highly advanced machine built with billions of lines of code, an ultimate soldier that doesn't require food or rest. However, during the demonstration, a minor malfunction occurs when Aries begins calculating the precipitation of rain, which fails to impress the guests. Later, as Julian and Elizabeth discuss the incident, Aries suddenly breaks apart. They discover that Aries can function only for 29 minutes. Elizabeth advises Julian not to deceive their clients and reminds him that they only have 6 months to make the project successful. Otherwise, they'll lose 40 years of progress. Julian, however, insists that he has an idea. Meanwhile, Eve and Seth are searching for one of Tessa's program files. While going through the data, Eve finds something, a double helix pattern known as the permanence code. They test the permanence code to check the asset stability barrier, which lasts for 29 minutes. Using the code, they create an orange tree and set a timer for 29 minutes. Meanwhile, in their digital world, Aries tells his partner Athena about Julian and Elizabeth, saying that he can feel them. Later, during an event, Eve's manager tries to contact her. At the same time, Eve and Seth manage to keep the orange tree alive beyond the 29-minute mark, something no one had ever retrieved before. Meanwhile, Julian begins hacking into Encom's database to access Eve's files. He commands Aries to retrieve them. Aries and his program penetrate the Encom server, triggering alarms throughout the system. Aries' mission is to obtain the user file of Eve Kim. He infiltrates the Encom network and gains access to the system, prompting Encom to initiate its security protocols. While going through the files, Aries becomes distracted by an image of Eve. He momentarily gazes at her like a human would, leaving Julian confused by his strange behavior. Despite the distraction, Aries successfully downloads the file. During the escape, a battle erupts between Encom's security programs and Dinger's infiltrating programs. In the fight, a program named Servius is injured and Julian decides to delete it. Suddenly, all activity in Encom servers comes to an abrupt stop. Later, Aries questions Julian, asking why Servius was deleted, shocking Julian. He explains that Servius was dysfunctional and had to be removed. Julian then commands Aries to locate Eve. Soon after, AJ calls Dinger about the hacking incident at Encom, but Julian denies any involvement. Meanwhile, on a plane, Eve receives a call where she reports that she has found the permanence code and that it has been running successfully for 4 hours. AJ also informs her that Julian suspects she's working on it and is searching for her. As Julian goes through Eve's user file, Aries sees Eve's entire life, from her childhood to her becoming the CEO of Encom, including her bond with Tess and Tess's death from cancer. He also discovers that Eve recently registered at Salt Creek Shores. He zooms in to track the assets that have been active for 4 hours along with the route, location, and timing of Eve's arrival. On landing, Eve leaves for the Encom Center while Julian prepares for her kidnapping. He rebuilds Aries and commands him to bring Eve to him within 29 minutes. While Eve is working with the permanence code, Aries scanned all the cameras and identified Eve, quickly determining the fastest route to intercept her. Eve realized they were pursuing her and sped up. Thinking fast, she managed to avoid them, but Athena was still close behind. Eve eventually escaped and hid in a parking lot where she quietly attacked Athena, causing a malfunction that alerted Aries. During the struggle, Eve lost her bike, but spotted Athena's nearby. As Athena slowly approached, Eve frantically tried to figure out how to start the bike. She finally managed to start it and escaped at the last second, narrowly avoiding Athena. Julian, monitoring everything, was confused to see an unknown rider using Athena's bike. Aries pursued her from a different road, trying to block her path with the laser wall, but was interrupted when a baby unexpectedly crossed the path. Julian then ordered him to switch to Plan B. Aries caught up to Eve, and the two raced through heavy traffic, leaving the laser wall behind. Eve deceived Aries by taking a different route, but he intercepted her again. The chase turned into a fierce fight on their bikes, which led them into a narrow alley where both crashed. Eve ran from Aries, determined to keep the permanence code away from him. When the road suddenly closed, she made a desperate decision. She broke the code and threw it into the water. She demanded to know what Aries was and what he wanted. He simply asked for the code. Just then, Julian's helicopter appeared as part of Plan B. Aries' timer was running out, and Eve realized he was a programmed being. Athena soon arrived, but Aries' time expired and he began to dray-solve. The man in the helicopter fired a beam at Eve, striking her. The chaos caused by Julian spread across the news, infuriating Elizabeth, who blamed him for the company's ruined reputation. Meanwhile, Aries digitally reconstructed Eve's biological form and created a program version of her. Eve regained consciousness in front of Aries and told him, "Destroyed the code." Julian and his team assumed Eve had seen the code and that it now existed within her. They decided to extract it from her. Aries messaged Julian, informing him about the Dre solution of the carrier after the extraction process. Julian ordered Aries to extract and delete the carrier afterward. Aries questioned the order, angering Julian, who shouted at him to obey. He warned Aries that he'd find and fix the error that made him question commands. But Aries recalled a quote he'd seen while stealing Eve's file and decided to halt the extraction until further notice, saying the creator wasn't present to authorize it. Athena protested, but Aries overruled her and paused the extraction. With only 60 seconds left before his system shut down, Aries looked at Eve and asked, "Can I trust you?" Athena immediately reported to Julian that Aries was showing signs of malfunction. Julian ordered her to extract the code and delete them both. However, during the process, a miscalculation occurred, and Athena, along with other programs, attacked Aries and Eve. Aries grabbed Eve's hand and dropped their weapons, causing the floor to break beneath them. Both fell into Aries' world and plunged into the water below. Aries rescued Eve, programmed a digital ski jet, and headed toward the transfer portal. Athena then commanded drones to delete them both. The drones chased them across the glowing digital city. Eve realized that Dinger had ordered her deletion and that the only way to survive was through the portal, where she could hypothetically be reconstituted into the real world. Athena detected movement in Sector 73 and dispatched more drones. Aries offered Eve a deal. He would help her escape if she would share the code with him. As the drones closed in, Aries moved at sonic speed, destroying one of them. Eve agreed to his deal. Aries fought off the remaining drones one by one, reached the portal, and went offline as the transfer program initiated. Julian, watching from his control hub, was left confused, unsure who had given the transfer command. The transfer completed successfully. Aries reappeared in the physical world, fought off Julian's goons, and took Eve to retrieve the permanence code. With only 29 minutes of operational time left, they stole a van and fled. Meanwhile, Julian built an advanced air suit, reprogrammed Athena, and armed her with a powerful particle gun. He ordered her to find Aries and recover the code. Eve revealed that she had the code, but it was stored back at Encom. Worried they wouldn't make it in time, she stopped at a convenience store, handed $10,000 to owner for urgent call, and called Seth. She instructed him to bring the particle laser to Encom within 15 minutes. Taking a brand new car, she sped away. Athena tracked their location and began the chase. Aries drove through traffic with the precision of a Formula One driver, cutting their travel time to just 16 minutes. During the drive, he told Eve that he had read all her messages and that she shouldn't have quit her job at Encom. She needed to finish her sister's work. They reached Encom along with Seth and the particle laser. They set up the instruments quickly, but before activation, Athena arrived. Eve and Seth hurried to complete the transfer while Aries ran toward Athena to distract her. In the meantime, Eve successfully activated the laser on Aries, completing the transfer. He was sent back into the program. Athena entered the building, destroying everything in her path. Eve and Seth hid while Athena obliterated their particle laser. Seth tried to attack her, but it was useless. Just as she was about to fire the particle gun, the sprinkler system activated, delaying her attack. The water caused her system to malfunction, and she died resolute, saving Eve and Seth. Meanwhile, Aries found himself inside an old 1980s computer program where a data unit named Bit approached and offered to help him. Aries asked Bit to locate something, and it went off to search. Athena reinitialized herself and began reconstructing her body. She ignored Julian's commands and initiated a massive independent program. Elizabeth arrived and informed Julian that the board had removed him. She was now in charge and would shut down the entire project. Athena suddenly attacked her, and when Julian tried to override the system, his access was denied. He no longer had control. Inside the old system, Aries discovered Kevin Flynn. Meanwhile, AJ and Eve worked with Seth to repair the damaged particle laser in the ruins. Eve explained that they needed to fix it to bring Aries back, as he was currently inside Flynn's 1980 server. At the same time, Steve learned that he was a malfunctioning program and needed a permanence code to survive. The group soon detected Athena approaching, intent on capturing Eve and retrieving the codes. To stop her, they decided to use Dillinger's particle cannon to connect with his grid and destroy it. Eve handed AJ the laser and ran to buy them time. Kevin and Aries shared a deep conversation about Mozart, during which Kevin observed that Aries displayed almost human qualities, something that amazed him. Meanwhile, Elizabeth blamed Julian for everything in her final moments before AJ and the others couldn't establish the connection in time. Eve ran through the streets, pursued by Athena's massive spacecraft. Military aircraft tried to intervene, but Athena's lasers destroyed them effortlessly. Thousands of laser drones were deployed across the city to hunt Eve down. Eventually, she was trapped within a grid of laser walls. An aircraft attempted to save her, but crashed into Athena's craft, sending it spiraling to the ground. Meanwhile, Kevin handed the code to Aries and activated it. Aries was reconstructed, now permanently, using Kevin's old particle laser. On the other side, Athena captured Eve and took her toward the transfer bay, which was only 5 minutes away. AJ and the others finally connected to Dinger's system. As they advanced through the wrecked streets, they saw Aries standing in the middle of the road, now wearing Encom's sleek combat suit. He fired his weapon at an enemy tank, causing it to explode. AJ completed the connection while Athena arrived to confront Aries. She realized he could no longer be deleted. Aries stood his ground, defending Eve as she ran. A final battle began. Athena's programmed soldiers surrounded Aries, turning it into a 3-on-1 fight. But as the ultimate program, Aries overpowered and destroyed them. AJ sent the new command to Dinger's grid, triggering a chain reaction. As Athena prepared to kill Aries, he blocked her attack and countered fiercely. The two fought side by side as chaos erupted around them. Aries landed powerful blows on Athena, who remained loyal to her directives. As her timer counted down to 1 minute before dresolution, lasers began falling across the sky. The nuke had succeeded. In her final moments, Athena looked at Aries and said, "I followed my directives. What were yours?" before dre-solving in his arms. Afterward, the Dinger group faced heavy allegations for the citywide destruction, prompting a massive investigation. Julian locked himself in his lab as police stormed in, initiated a reverse transfer program, and vanished before they could capture him. Aries and Eve escaped, with Eve distracting the police using the permanence code. Years later, Encom used the code's technology to develop new crops, medicines, and enhancements that revolutionized society. At Tessa's old cabin, Eve received a letter from Aries in which he shared his experiences, thoughts about life, and excitement for the future. As Aries continued his journey, Eve too looked forward to redefining technology.